So you're a wig wearer, or you're considering getting a wig, but every wig you see, way out of your price range. So what do? You watch this review, because I have 2 under $25 wigs to show you right now. My name is Denise. I'm also known as Hey Wig Sister on Instagram and Facebook, and I love bringing you good wig finds. I review everything from super budget friendly Amazon wigs to high-end luxury human hair and everything in between, because I truly believe every woman deserves to find something that will work for her when hair loss comes calling. So today I am actually partnering with an Amazon retailer to bring you both of these wigs. So I do get asked all the time, please, please, please show more budget-friendly wigs, and I do my very best to find as many as I can. It certainly helps me a lot when retailers reach out and ask me if I'd like to try their wigs. It's just a little bit hard on our budget when I keep buying wigs because I want to show them. And this company reached out to me via email and asked if I'd like to try some wigs. The first thing I always do when I have a retailer reach out is I do some research on them and I go check out their postings, their listings. In this case, this is an Amazon retailer, so I also read reviews. And overall, these wigs have really positive reviews. The other thing I like about reviewing Amazon wigs is because the sellers usually send me the wigs through Amazon, meaning it's in stock wherever they're kept at Amazon, and so I'm not potentially getting something that is different than what you would get if you purchase. And that is something I think about very deeply when I agree to review for companies. I really want to make sure they're an honest company and that what they send me isn't going to be different from what you get if you purchase. So that's the process I go through, and once I did a little bit of that research, I said yes, and I picked out a blonde and a brunette, but they do have a number of different colors available in this particular listing. And so I'll make sure there's a link below in the description to both of these. They're in the same listing, but they're different colors and different product numbers. Let's look inside this cap. So these are very much no frills caps. Super budget wigs like these tend to really have a lot of the budget in the cap. So you can see it's wefted in the back, and these wefts are very far apart. That's different from the major name brands where their wefts are a little bit closer together. There's no lace front, no monopart or anything, but on both of these we have this fake plastic part, and I'll show the other one to you because you can see it a little bit better on the brunette. That's really common on these types of wigs. I actually think they did a reasonably good job on that fake part, at least on the brunette. You can't really see it very well on this one. And I wouldn't mind wearing that. I don't think it looks super, super obvious. There's also hook adjusters so that you can adjust the size just a little bit on both of these. I would say that the caps are running pretty true to average. Sometimes these budget-friendly wigs, the caps are humongous. I'm not finding them to be as big as some other budget wigs I've tried, but I mean, I definitely have some extra cap. I would say these caps are more stiff than the major name brands. Let's just see this one from all sides. And maybe not quite as comfortable as some of the more expensive wigs, but it's absolutely wearable in my opinion. The other thing I notice from wigs like this, the hair fibers feel just a little bit more kind of stiff, a little bit of a thicker denier, and just the tiniest bit plasticky. Not over, I mean, honestly, you guys, especially this one. So I did my unboxing of this one first. Normally I do these unboxings and then I put voiceovers on the unboxings and I put them on social media. Well, I did my unboxing and I was so blown away by this wig, I immediately filmed a quick video for Instagram to share it because I am overall extremely impressed with these pieces. For less than $25, I just think they did a really good job. And I had a couple of wig sisters, I think I've heard from 3, purchased it based on that video, and they're very, very happy with their purchases. So I think if we set our expectations correctly, these are not Raquel Welch wigs or John Renault or any of the major name brands. And I mean, $25 versus $325, I think they're excellent for that price point. Just show you this one more time. Now the bangs on this one are long. They don't sweep to the side quite as well as the brunette. Now we'll be throwing that one on in a second. But if you want to trim a full bang and not even deal with that, it's a perfect bang to be trimmed. And I have a video showing how to take a thinning razor to trim up bangs. And I've done that on budget-friendly wigs before. So don't let the bang area of this one deter you if you like everything else that you see, unless you don't want a full bang at all. Because I do think this one is really almost there, and since it doesn't have a lace front, you definitely are going to want to do a little trimming unless you can get it to sweep. Now you could take heat to this. I believe that they're heat friendly. The product listing didn't say one way or the other, but I've never come across a budget-friendly synthetic wig on Amazon that wasn't heat-friendly, so I'd be real cautious. But if you do take heat to it, a safe method of heat is actually a clothing steamer. So if you're uncertain if this can take regular heat tools, you have two options. You can try on just like a piece of the nape hair, because if you fry it, you can just cut it right off and you won't even be able to tell, or just use a clothing steamer and that will work perfectly. And here is this beautiful auburn brunette. It's definitely pulling more of an auburn red. But like I said, they have other colors. These are just the two colors that they sent me. And when I put this one on, I really couldn't believe how nice it was. I think the bangs on this one sweep to the side just a little bit better than the blonde. But again, if you wanted to just trim a full bang in and then you wouldn't have to worry about that, you absolutely can do that. Here's that part line that I was talking about. So it's got that little plastic piece right there. I've seen some that looked incredibly fake. I don't think this one is really all that bad. The only caution I will give you, the way that they do these fake plastic parts, and if you've seen any of my Amazon or other budget-friendly videos, you've heard me talk about this before. So basically, it's a piece of plastic. Can you see that little like rectangle? There's a piece of plastic right in there, and that's what gives this a part. The problem is, on wigs that are super flat on the top and don't have a lot of lift, you can kind of see a weird sort of cone head thing going on. And this wig is very flat. Neither one of these wigs have Permatease. I don't think I've ever seen Permatease in a super budget wig. So these are really flat. I would say moderate density, not a lot of volume. And especially on this one, I feel like it kind of gives a bit of a cone head on the top. I have a video showing how to take heat to one of these wigs to get a little bit of lift next to that part line. You can take like a hot air brush and kind of just do a bunch of round brushing to get some lift here. You can also use a clothing steamer to get lift. I show how to do that on a regular synthetic in another video. I'll make sure any video I think that could help you, cutting bangs, getting lift, will be linked below, because if you're new, you really do need to learn how to do these things. Very, very, very rarely are wigs 100% perfect out of the box, especially when you're new and you're not used to them. So if you find the same thing, I think you can get a little lift here, and that's really going to go a long way in eliminating that. Other than that though, they did such a phenomenal job with these layers. Such a good job. Hopefully I'm up high enough so you can see the full length. I have to get way up on my tiptoes. It's a pretty long piece, but yeah, like just barely to the middle of my bust. And I'm pretty tall. So if you like everything, but maybe the length is a little bit too long for you, I have a video showing how I cut the length off of an Amazon headband wig, and I also thinned it out a little bit. I don't think this one needs to be thinned out. It really doesn't have a ton of hair at all, but you may find that you don't want it quite this long. I'll link that video below so you can just take a little, I used a thinning razor like I do with bangs, and then I did a little bit of point cutting with a pair of scissors. I'm not a stylist, you guys. The only way I've learned to do this is through watching YouTube videos and trial and error. So I show you hacks because I'm a hack when it comes to these things, but don't do them thinking I'm super knowledgeable. I just think when you're a wig wearer, you kind of need to learn how to do some things on your own, because it's just too hard to find stylists who will work on synthetic wigs, and it can be pretty cost prohibitive. I mean, if you're going to pay $25 for a wig or less, I don't think you're going to pay a stylist to modify it. Maybe you could just learn to do that on your own. The other thing I love about this, because of these layers, I think this would be perfect for ponytails. Absolutely perfect. So you could kind of pull it back into a ponytail, kind of tuck these sides here, you know, just kind of play with it so you can get it the way you want it. And I would just tug this down on the bottom so that you can't see the cap, and there you go. And because of the fringe, the shorter layers, it just looks so perfect, and you won't be able to see the transition on the wig. So if you're struggling with wigs and you haven't found a wig that you can put up in a ponytail so that it feels normal to you, or wigs that you can stick up are so good for the summer, I think this would be too hot to wear down only because it's so long. But throw it up in a ponytail and suddenly you've got a great summer wig because it doesn't have permatease or a lot of density. And with all that open wefting on the cap, you'll get a lot of airflow through to your scalp. Bottom line, I had to throw this one back on again because I just think this blonde is so cute. I think these are worth looking at if you are in the market for a budget wig, or maybe you can afford the major name brands, but you'd like to have a few cheaper wigs that you don't really have to worry as much about, or wigs to practice on. Maybe you've been too terrified to cut bangs into a $300 wig. Buy one of these, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that you might actually want to wear this one after you get it, you know, trimmed up to where you like it. The other thing I want to mention, I haven't noticed any tangling on this one, but there is a moderate amount of tangling on this long piece. I have had even major name brand wigs that tangled worse than this one. I just took her off. I didn't comb through her when I took her off, so there's a little bit of a tangle right there. But in general, I've had no issue getting these tangles out, and it really hasn't been terrible. So I recommend, if you're ever going to wear, especially a long synthetic like this, carry a wide tooth comb with you. Any wide tooth comb will do, and comb through your piece regularly. If you're gonna wear a wig for many hours, I would comb through, especially the nape of the wig, every hour at a minimum. I know that sounds like a lot, but these are not human hair fibers, and synthetic fibers already don't last as long as a human hair wig. So anything you can do to prolong the life of that wig is going to go a long way in making you feel like you made a good investment. And combing through and getting those tangles out, that's one way you can extend the life of a synthetic wig. That's it. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I do think these are 100% worth trying, and I hope to try some more wigs by this company. They did reach out to me, and I think they have some lace front wigs, and I told them I'd get back to them in a few weeks. But if I can get some other good budget wigs, you better believe I'll be bringing them to you. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped. I truly hope this helped. I'll talk to you soon. All right, just a quick glance at this color. It's super windy out here. Just a good mix of kind of light blonde and beige blonde. And then a darker root. It's gonna blow around like crazy out here. All right, there you go. All right, and here's this one. Very auburn. So windy. Not a good idea to have lip gloss on when it's this windy. All right, there you go. Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.